So today, Juice Media has uploaded a rather high-effort anti-carbon capture and storage video. I'll play a portion of the video and then react. My first question is, what political perspective is this presenter coming from? Let's see.
Carbon capture and storage. Carbon capture and storage, or CCS, is a complex mining process whereby fossil fuel companies inject donations into the arseholes of politicians to delay climate action and let them keep making the ching-ching.
So I think that was key. You heard the keywords, delay climate action. When you DuckDuckGo search climate action, you get a link to Climate Action, United Nations Sustainable Development. Okay, let's continue.
CCS entails two key stages, capture and storage. In the capture phase, also known as state capture, fossil fuel interests infiltrate your government at every level so that we'll ignore scientists and keep approving new coal and gas projects. But don't worry, in the storage phase, we pay those fossil fuel companies billions of dollars to bury their emissions underground. Does it work? Absolutely. Those companies store the billions of dollars deep down in their bank accounts where no tax officer can reach them. What's that? Do they store the carbon? Yeah, nah. CCS has missed every single target we've set for it. Let's take a look. 20 years ago, we told you that by today, CCS would capture 5,000 million tons of CO2 per year. Today, the world can barely capture 10, which is so far off target you can't even see it on this graph.
So now I'm on woodmac.com. Here the title is Carbon Capture and Storage 2021 Commodity Market Report. So this report notes that the operational capture capacity had grown from 41.9 to 47.1 MTPA in 2020. MPTA stands for million tons per annum. For this more dated article, you see approximately 40 MTPA was acquired. And I just showed you there was a growth by 7.8 MTPA just for the year 2020, as stated in this report summary. So armed with that knowledge, now let's review the ad again.
20 years ago, we told you that by today, CCS would capture 5,000 million tons of CO2 per year. Today, the world can barely capture 10, which is so far off target you can't even see it on this graph. And when you remember that our global emissions are 36 billion tons each year, even if it had met its target, it would contribute approximately fuck all.
Now I'm on Our World in Data. How have global emissions of carbon dioxide changed over time? In this chart, we see the growth of global emissions from the mid-18th century through today. By 1990, this previous rate of 6 billion tons had quadrupled to 22 billion tons per annum. Emissions have continued to grow rapidly. We now emit 36 billion tons per annum. And this graph shows how CO2 emissions have increased rapidly from approximately 1950. A very obvious question, which is not answered in this data, is that what is the base amount of CO2 emission that would occur if there were no human industrial activity occurring at all? Is that measured in the tens of billions of tons per year or hundreds of billions of tons per year? I don't have that answer. What I can say about this ad is, in the beginning, there's a mention of 10 million tons per annum reduction through CCS technology, which appears to be possible propaganda based off the other contradicting evidence I showed you. This statement of our global emissions, however, is consistent with other sources. Earlier, you heard the keyword climate action, which has a link to sustainable development, possibly placing this type of advertisement in the left-wing portion of the political spectrum. Juice Media was founded in California and Paso Robles, January 1st, 2010. I looked up 3 of the executives in this company. I could not find any interesting information to suggest specific political biases or compromise. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with this company and for this particular ad, why I put it out at this time, if there's like a special reason for that. As a compliment to point out what this video has done well, it's important to note that even though the 10 million tons per year figure is an extreme lowball of the actual 40 million tons per year through CCS reduction, the ad is accurate in portraying the relative impact of this technology on our current rate of CO2 emissions in billions of tons per year. We're merely 1,000th of where we need to be for true parity to match CO2 output. I'll leave a link to this video in the thumbnail pinned to the comments. Let me know what you think.